what to write about. Trying to figure out what it's all about. Existentialist. Am I worth anything or just a scout? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
That was a great Sounds of Watson with Outside on WNHHLP 103.5 FM New Haven. Myself, Preston, with my partner in crime, Long Island raised, Elm City made. Mr. EZ BlueZ is in the building. EZ BlueZ, you are better with introductions more than me. Who do we have with us on the program today?
Ladies and gentlemen, when we say that every journey starts with a single step, and we're working from the bottom to the top is one of the hardest things to do, but it is the story that is best told. I want you to really think about what that means, what it means to come in somewhere on a bottom level, put in the work, put in the extra work, put in the extra work to move up, advance, and get better until you are going from walking in as an intern to walking through as a producer to an on-air segmenter themselves. I want you to put your hands together, not if you're driving. If you're driving, please keep your hands attended to, for we don't need any accidents. But mentally, put your hands together for the amazing, the incredible, the fantastic Matt Sirois is with us today. Welcome, benvenue.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. You asked me up. This better not suck. I'm all excited. All right.
Well, good. I'm glad you're excited. It's something that we like to do on the show.
Absolutely.
Just to show you guys that this show is 100% about you. It's about the story that you want to tell. Now, you are, for those who didn't really pay attention or aren't playing the home game, you are someone who is in radio. You are a personality. You are also a producer. How did this journey start for you?
I'll tell you, it's funny. I'd known Preston for many years. Him and I go back to Briarwood College, which is now named something else, probably 3 times over, which I don't even know what it is now. But yeah, and we were both in broadcasting classes together and everything, and it's just something that since I was a kid listening to like baseball games on the radio with like John Sterling and Peter Gammons is one of my favorites on ESPN growing up as well. Just like the mind of like a baseball analyst, really. I was really into sports growing up, and just wanted to pursue that pretty much from like, I'd say probably freshman or sophomore year of high school is when I really got the bug to just want to be on air and be semi-famous in my own head at least, you know. But it's also just fun. It's fun to, you know, especially when you find people that are listening, you get to meet those listeners too in real life and everything, and they say like, oh wow, like you don't sound like you look, or I'm like, okay, that's, I don't know if that's insulting or a compliment, but I'll take it.
Now, what has it been like in this journey? Because you did not start out as a radio personality. They didn't just hand you a microphone and tell you to get going. You know, you started out in the trenches aspect of it. Obviously, you went to college for it and using the education to move forward, but really that's just opening doors for you to go in and intern anyway. And in this type of business, intern literally does mean go run, get coffee.
It did, yeah. It's kind of weird, like interns have kind of gone away in a sense, just because of like, I don't know if it's because of the new laws or what it is, because when I started as an intern at WCCC back in when did we graduate, Preston? 2008. I remember. Yeah. It was 2 weeks after I literally got the certificate in my diploma. That I started as an intern at WCCC. I met their promotions manager at a Blink 182 show at the Meadows, which is now the Xfinity in Hartford. And you could tell I was serious about getting into it. And he's like, yeah, let me send me a resume and we'll see what we could do. And a week later, he called me and hired me as an intern, and it was getting coffee, getting lunch for everybody else. You know, runners definitely running everywhere. But yeah, working your way up and getting to where, you know, you had to be.
Now, from what you've just told us, is obviously it's a connection that you made on an interpersonal level. So people, you know, if they're listening and they are playing the home game, which we do hope they do play the home game, you know, you should be out there promoting yourself no matter where you are. You were at a Blink 182 concert and you started just going, look, this is who I am. This is what I want to do for the rest of my life. How can you help me get through there? What was it like to take that step going from, you know, just the guy with the degree in your hand to actually talking to someone that could be in charge of your future?
Yeah, I mean, it seemed like a now or never type of moment at that minute or at that concert. You know, I saw the WCCC booth set up, and you know, all my friends were with me, and we're like, all right, we're gonna head inside. And I was like, I need like 10 minutes because
There you go.
I gotta see a guy about a thing, you know. And I end up introducing myself, and you know, God bless Rex Emmerich. You know, rest in peace, Rex Emmerich, because he really took the time out at a packed table with a lot of listeners to step aside for 10 minutes and talk to me about my goals and what I wanted for my future and everything. And he didn't have to do that at all.
Right.
And he did, and he said, send me a resume. And like I said, a week later I was in the door.
Nice. And I know you met a lot of famous faces just throughout your career on WCCC. A lot of famous wrestlers, which I'm really jealous about.
Yeah.
That came through the Monday Night Raw tours and the SmackDown tours. And, you know, I was happy for you when I saw those pictures, but it was a little envy, just a little tad bit of envy that I got to saw. But what happened?
That was one of the perks for sure.
Yeah, but what have been some of your famous interactions just within just the time of you just being within that just great building? Yeah.
Oh, at WCCC, you mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was, yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot to mention. In studio, you know, we got very close with Aaron Lewis of Stained.
Nice.
He, you know, lived right up 91, so if they had a new album out or a new single out, he would literally drive the CD down to Mike Caroli to play it in the midday show type of thing and just debut it there because he really helped them get their start and
Right.
kind of not forgot where he came from type of deal. Having Brian Danielson, who was Daniel Bryan back then, in studio, was, and this is when he was like probably United States champ, like just coming up, short hair, like not even like in his vegan moment type of yet, you know. It was he was turned out to be a really, really nice guy. CM Punk we had in studio with us too, which was it was a day. It was funny because our sports guy at the time was supposed to go live on sports, and we were like, oh, we got CM Punk, and that's when he just won the belt, and he was doing the media tour. So he was like, we had him in queue on the board, meaning you can hear what's going, and it's hearing him talk back to us from where he was on a remote location.
Oh, that's awesome.
And he was like, are you serious? He's like, you're gonna put this MFN wrestler on before me and like and everything, and CM Punk sitting in there like, who the hell is this guy talking to me? He's like, does he not know who I am? My type of deal. And it got a little tense in there for a second, but ended up working out. We were like, yeah, sorry, that's our cranky sports guy. Yeah. Fun to get in on that, but
wow,
it was a funny moment. I was like, good thing you're remote there, brother, because
it would have been a different story,
a different scene.
But what made the decision for them to bring you on just as a personality? I mean, obviously, you know, you did a great job being an intern with the company, but just seeing you just being part of the morning show and just with that process, what made them have that decision of, look, Matt's a great guy, let's bring him on and let's just see what he does with this?
It was just, I credit to just being seen. And, you know, while I was an intern there, I still worked at part-time at Ocean State Job Lot. I was like the seasonal manager at Ocean State Job Lot.
Oh, wow.
In Stellington. So I was like back and forth type of deal. Like I was never home during that time because I was just every time I wasn't, you know, making my 40 hours at at the retail,
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to be in that building in Hartford.
Mm-hmm.
I credit it to a lot of that, just wanting to be seen, because if you're seen, and especially in a small building that CCC was in on Asylum Ave,
Right.
You're seeing, people are going to start to get to know you, and
Absolutely.
you're going to get an opportunity. They're going to say, hey, this kid is here, he's present, and he kind of earns it.
Mm. Now you were just no. Go ahead, Easy. I'm sorry.
No. Please continue on, you guys. I'm taking notes.
You're taking notes, mental notes.
Yes. Oh no. I'm writing stuff down. It's important. You got to be a good researcher. You got to figure out some things to do. Maybe if we get into a studio somewhere.
Just for that perspective, person who just wants to go into media, just the hustle. What made you just remain consistent? I understand when it says remain to be seen, but like what takes just to be seen? Because it's more than just being at a building. Like what contributions did you just put in besides getting coffee in the meals, and did you just sneak in a tape to somebody? Like just tell us just a little bit of what you can say.
You just got to be a yes man
Right.
with everything. With everything, you got to kiss the ass, and you do have to be a yes man. For the first at least couple of years, and even if you don't know how to do something, say, "Yep, I can do that. I can definitely do that. Yep, I can edit that commercial, no problem. Yep." And they're like, "It's been 3 hours. You don't have that commercial ready?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, it's almost done. I'm working on it." Meanwhile, I'm trying to edit how to edit somebody's curse out on the wavelength of it, and I'm like, I don't know how to do this, but I'm gonna figure it out. And eventually I figured it out, and a lot of it is being a yes man, doing the dirty work that you have to do sometimes, whether it be getting the coffee or the meals, or dealing with somebody's. I had to pick up somebody's kids once. Like,
oh my goodness.
Oh, really?
Man.
I can do that, no problem.
Oh God, I hope they paid you or something. That's crazy. Do you pick up the kids? Oh my goodness, that's a headache and a half.
It's funny.
But it's crazy, just being in this world that it's a 180 just from college, just being in classes with you, just with the real world experience when it just comes into radio. Because I remember when we had that little shack, probably like not even just like smaller than an apartment, with that radio station that we're in, like down in Southington, Connecticut. We had that one big board, and we had like that big plexiglass, and we were just like talking to each other back and forth, and we had to rent the time that we had to go into the station. We had to rent the time. I think it was about an hour or 2 hours where you had to rent the time, and no matter if you were done or not, you had to get kicked out, or another class was going to begin in there.
Yep.
And it was really crazy just back then, like about like 20 something years ago. Good God. Where because everybody had like different times, people had different classes, people had jobs they had to take care of. Sometimes the teacher was there, sometimes the teacher wasn't there. So, and there were times you had to request the time to be at the station. Matt knows this. Like, you had to wait some time for that teacher to come in, and you had an assignment due probably those next couple days. So it's really challenging. It was really mentally challenging going back then. But now, like you said, you had to be the yes man, making those commercials, editing it for different people. And in my opinion, but do you believe that as well too? Because you've been there, like in the big leagues when it comes locally wise. Do you feel it's just winging it when it just comes to the world of broadcasting? Because trying to get there, just saying, yes, I can do this. Yes, I can do this. Just going back and forth and just within the whole profession.
I don't think there's any special formula. Honestly, it's that they call it being a personality for a reason, because you have to have your own identity as well. And if you're out there just trying to copy people, you're not going to be your true identity and self.
Right.
And therefore, it's going to come across fake and not well perceived. One thing I will say is that, like, and as a listener myself to radio for years and years, and then being in it and seeing some people like that too, and hearing some people, if you're not yourself, the listeners will see right through it.
Yeah,
they'll see right through it, and that they're not gonna listen. They're not gonna respect you, and they're gonna probably talk crap about you too. So so it's best to literally, as corny as it sounds, it's best to literally be yourself.
Mhm.
In life and in radio too, because it's, I always say, if people don't like your true self, then sounds like it's their problem.
That is true.
Right.
That's
Well,
100% true.
it's so funny because we quote Dylan on the show all the time. If you're going to be in alcohol, you better be honest.
Nice. Yeah.
And that's really seems the way that this goes is just 100% being yourself, and committing to being yourself is the way to move forward. Obviously you have to do all the extra work and do everything and jump through the hoops that are necessary. What was one of the hardest hoops beyond taking children, picking up children? What was one of the hardest hoops you had to jump through?
Hardest hoops I had to jump through. It was probably after CCC closed
Mhm.
in 2014. I had been let go from CCC due to budget cuts probably 4 or 5 months before they actually closed their doors. The writings were kind of on the wall at that point, and they were just, in a way, just dumping dead weight. And because I was the youngest kid and had the lowest, low man on the totem pole still, because there was obviously veterans with, whether it be, Pecosi or Crowley or Raven or
Right.
whoever else was there at the time. I was still a low man on the totem pole. So when I got let go out of there, and they even said like, we'll try to see if there's something you can still do here, but I knew that wasn't the case. I had to figure it out from there, and that was the biggest loophole I had to like jump through, was whether I wanted to, because I was, what age was I at? Maybe 26. Yeah, 25 or 26 at that point. And I knew I was, obviously still young, but getting let go from a station like that is it's pretty devastating at that
Yeah,
time.
it hits you.
I developed so many relationships there too, and I was like, I'm never gonna see these people again, and I see them probably more now than I did back then. Like it was kind of like the what's next. I still had a passion and still do today for media and for radio, but I also knew I had to get a job and do something with my life, and at that time, radio stations weren't really hiring, so I decided I'd just drive school buses for 2 years.
Right.
So I ended up getting, in retrospect, like, I hate to go off like on bunny trails like this, but like in retrospect, it could have been the best thing, because I ended up finding my wife at the bus company.
Right.
So it was ended up being probably the best thing in life that I got let go and CCC closed for me.
And no matter what, when we tell the story to your wife, it is the best thing that happened in your life.
Right. Yes.
Just making that sure. We're going on record and saying that right now, that it was for the best. It was, Shakespeare was the best of time. No, not Shakespeare. Dickens. It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. It was through that struggle that you actually were able to be vulnerable enough to accept true love into your heart and get to move forward. That's the story that we tell.
Exactly.
If you need us to record that, and for a holiday or an anniversary thing, we got you. I can put that covered.
That's good stuff. So yeah, probably just figuring out what I wanted to do. Whether it be, and I knew it wasn't driving school buses. That was very old. But yeah, while I was going through that, really, like, what I wanted to do moving forward was like the loophole, and on the other side ended up being getting into WTIC.
Nice. And you were doing, as we talk about this on WNHHLP 103.5 FM New Haven, myself, Preston, with my partner in crime, Long Island Raised, Elm City Made, Mr. EZ Blues. My good friend Matt is with us on the program. WTIC NewsTalk 1080. You were doing a part-time board out position. Please just tell us about that journey still. Continue.
Yeah, so I was still driving school buses during the day, and then they were giving me like 15 hours at night to yeah, to just board op, whether it be a Red Sox game or local programming on WTIC. Work 7 to 10, probably 3 nights a week, and then on a weekend, 1 day on a weekend. And again, that was just the same thing, like being seen there, like because I had to, I had reached like the morning show, which is like really like the high point of radio. A lot of people will tell you at WCCC, and I was like, okay, well now I gotta, I get knocked down to the basement again. I have to, part-time board op at like night, for like a Red Sox game or something like that there. It's there's people vacuuming around your legs at that time of the night, you know what I'm saying? It's it's not like prime time type of thing, but I did it, and it was humbling but also rewarding in the end, because I ended up, when WTIC lost the UConn deal, as we used to broadcast the UConn games, and then they went over to ESPN and iHeart. They we ended up having a guy that did the UConn women games, Bob Joyce. He was also the morning show producer at WTIC. So they offered him a deal at iHeart to keep going, and he loved and still loves doing the UConn women and UConn men's games when he can. He's fantastic at doing it. Bob Joyce is one of the best to do it, along with Joe D'Ambrosio, who I'm still good friends with as well. And so he was producing the morning show, Ray and Joe D, on TIC AM at the time. And so he was leaving. They needed somebody else. And I remember I was on my way, I think, up to Maine to see my grandmother and my aunt and uncle when they posted the job online. And my wife was like, you should go for it. And I was like, I don't know. I was like, I don't know if I want to do that again, and or whatever, And she was like, no. She's like, you're gonna do it. She's like, you should definitely do it. And she helped me, like, basically while I was driving. She filled out the the application for me and everything, asking me questions. I'm like, yeah, do it like that, and yeah, I ended up getting it, and I've been there ever since, through Ray and Joe D, and now Brian and company there in the morning, and I'm actually the sports reporter there in the morning now too. So it's going really well.
Nice.
Good things happen to good people, brother.
Yeah, I appreciate you, man. Thank you. Yeah, it's it feels like CCC was so much fun, like, because it was in my 20s, and it was obviously just a fun time, just crazy times too, but your 20s and everything, but especially working at a rock station with all the chaos around you and everything, to now, heading into my late 30s, with a toddler and a teenager in the house, and my wife and a family. It feels like, okay, now I got that out of my system. I'm at a grown-up station type of thing, and at WTIC, and it's good. I really do enjoy it. I enjoy waking up and working with Brian Chakman in the morning.
Yeah, and you've been doing it for 8 years, right?
Yeah, I've been there for 8 years. I've been doing the morning show, I think 5 or 6 now.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So interesting that you how your story comes full circle. You got into broadcasting because of listening to Sportscast, and here you are now getting to be an on-air sportscaster. Did you ever think that you would be there, or because this is the thing, is you've accomplished what you set out to do, dream-wise.
It's very true, and it is very, very cool, and I don't take it for granted either, because I mean, I always wanted to work for ESPN, and then when I saw like the ins and outs of ESPN from other people working there, I was like, I don't want to work there anymore. I don't know. It's kind of shady at points. I really took a liking to radio, but still had a love for all sports.
Right.
And like I said, listen to John Sterling growing up calling the Yankee games. And I've had the chance to meet John a bunch of times now too, at our local dinners that we do with him and everything. And he's just an outstanding guy. Now retired, of course, very well deserved. But But yeah, I mean, it's just cool that I got to do, what I love, and I get to do sports in the morning too, and combine sports and radio, and it's just a fun experience and a fun job to have for sure.
Which is which is more challenging, being the reporter or being the producer?
It has its different challenges. Probably being the producer, I would say, because I get there early enough in the morning where I'm able to write the sports, get the audio clips I need edited and everything, and ready for my first sports at like 5:15 in the morning.
Right.
But producer is tricky because if you're booking guests, which I don't typically do. We have an executive producer, Joey, that does that. But it's just, working the clock and making sure all the ads run and making sure we have enough time for each guest that we book, that, they're not getting 3 minutes, that they're getting a full 8 that we said they would get.
Yeah.
So that's probably the most difficult part about it.
The overtime hurts, I'm not gonna lie. When people go over the time, remember I used to do that. The overtime is a headache.
It's miserable. It's miserable. Sometimes sometimes Brian, and he'll tell you the same thing too, but sometimes he gets, and we both do, we get a banter going about something, and we look up and we're like, oh my God, we're like 3 minutes over. This is terrible.
Yeah, because it's two different pains. One pain, the segment's so good you want to keep on going, but you're so limited amount of time. And then the other pain is you don't want to go too much over, or you're gonna break this rule and it's gonna hurt everybody else. It's like it's a never-ending seesaw. It really is.
It really is.
But just throughout just everything just with sports related, you're always learning something new every day. What are some stuff that you learned just from your peers and like different radio personalities and different producers that you still put into your work ethic as we talk right now?
Really, the biggest thing is just to remember to have fun.
Yeah.
Like it's like one thing that that Raven always used to tell me at CCC was just keep the party going. Because everybody who listens to the radio wants a distraction in their life.
Right.
Whether they're going to work or going home from work and thinking of like they got to get the 10 kids lunch for tomorrow and dinner ready and everything like that, or whether they're going to work and they're like, God, I don't want to deal with this person today. It seems like just a distraction, and it seems like, it's the same thing with podcasts too. Like now, like when you're listening to podcasts, because you want to feel like there's somebody talking to you in the next seat over.
Right.
Right.
It's like a buddy system almost. But it's just always remember to have fun, because if you're having fun, then listeners probably having fun.
Right.
Listening.
I love how you brought up podcasting and different aspects of that as well. Now, as you see the industry evolving and moving forward, where do you see radio?
It's a very, very good, interesting, and good question, because it's a lot of people say it's like a dying medium, and it seems like everybody and their brother has a podcast now, and it's it's just the way it is, and it's the way that streaming has become big, not even for audio, but obviously for video and movies and everything too. So just seems that's the way it's going. But I think there'll always be a place for radio in life, because it's just constant. It just seems like it's just constant, and people, especially news stations, like the news station I'm on, TIC AM. People like to listen to news and listen to politics and see what's going on, and we're very politics heavy at TIC. After like 9, so, and we got all the callers from the very well informed to a little bit out there, but it's still fun to listen to. So I mean, I think it's always gonna be around, especially talk radio and interactive radio like that.
Do you feel it's always going to be around because it's being interactive with your audience more, because you can't be interactive with that podcast you listen to on, on demand, or that music you listen to
Right.
on demand. There's nothing like just calling the announcer up as the conversation is going. Nothing can recreate that.
Right. And like that's why like Rush Limbaugh and like Don Imus and those guys were so successful, because they take phone calls all the time. And it's the same with sports radio now, with like Michael Kay show, or like whoever else. They take phone calls constantly because people want to interact. Everybody's got an opinion, and they feel like everybody has to hear their opinion.
Well, all of that being said, what has been, that you can talk about, one of the strangest calls you had to intercept?
You took the thought right out of my head, Easy.
Yeah, well, every once
I
in
was
a
just
while
about to say that. I was just about to say that too.
At CCC, we used to have a couple guys from jail call in.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Those were always fun, because they just like to talk. I mean, they get one phone call a week, and they would use it. And sometimes our bosses would be like, "What the hell number is this? Why is it coming up as this correctional facility? Why are you accepting these charges?" I'm like, "Oh, that's our guy from the Clink. He's a good dude." Like,
thanks for good radio.
You even know what he's in for? No, I don't. No, but he calls in every Friday night, and he loves to just talk for 20 minutes.
I mean, for him, that's probably the best thing ever. I mean, he has
it probably was.
Yeah.
So I was happy to do it. We were always happy to do it. At least somebody was listening, even if they were in cell block.
Exactly. What was the most? I mean, that's pretty off the wall right there. But what was like a heckling call, like a heckler, like when it came to like a call in that you're just like, why are you on with us right now? Like, what's the point?
I don't know. I haven't really been heckled as much.
Okay, that's good.
I'm trying. Yeah, I haven't been heckled as much. Some people used to call in at CCC and request hate breed all the time, and we'd be like, "Dude, we can't play hate breed at 3:00 in the afternoon. Like, people drive off the road." So they would call up and hate breed, you MF, or we'd be like, "Dude, like, you can't."
Yeah.
Like, we can't play hate breed at 2:30 in the afternoon. People are driving home.
That's true. That's true.
That would probably be the worst.
Oh man, it's crazy. Just people nowadays. I know you handle politics, so I can imagine just the calls that you get right now. But
it's the hot season, Preston. It's the hot season for politics.
It's definitely a crazy hot season, left
really
and
wild.
right. But it does spark debate. It does spark great talk, and that's why we're here. Just to have these conversations with people, especially with just everything going on right now, which is insane. But I noticed that, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I'm talking something completely out of politics. There's a photo that you have with Bernie Mac. Did you have a conversation with him back in WCCC when he was there? Like, what was that like?
I don't know if it was Bernie Mac. I don't remember meeting Bernie Mac. Was it?
I think it was Bernie Mac or some legendary comedian that was there.
I don't think I've ever met Bernie Mac.
Okay.
I wish I had, but I don't think I met. You might be thinking of John Witherspoon.
John Witherspoon. Yes.
Met, and Charlie Murphy I've met a couple times. Great. I mean, those were some of the best times when we had the comedian studio.
Right.
I mean, because the off-air stuff was 10 times better than what was on air.
Of course.
The off-air stuff was good too, but the off-air stuff was wild. The wild stories that never tell on air.
There's only so much that you can legally air.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. Like, John Witherspoon told us a couple stories of like the Wayans brothers and everything too, how they act like, and it's just hilarious, Yeah, John Witherspoon was always fun to have in studio. He had some funny stories, and he was just a good dude too.
Yeah, I think it was the photo with John Witherspoon, because I know it was a comedian who was unfortunately no longer with us. And because I remember, I think I heard a segment one time, because you always were promoting the comedy shows, either at the Funny Bone or I forgot the other venue
Yeah,
too.
the Funny Bone, and yeah, we had the Funny Bone, the Hookie Lao,
Boogie Lodge, that's right.
and what was the bar that just closed in Hartford too? A City Steam
Mm.
Comedy Club there too. Yeah.
And it was just a couple minutes as the comedians was promoting it, but it was so funny. But I was like thinking, I know off air they had to go off the wall, especially with
Oh
Charlie
yeah.
Murphy. It's because Charlie
Oh
Murphy, he
yeah.
doesn't hold back during the show. I know he didn't
Yep.
hold back with y'all.
Yeah. Charlie was great every time he came in, and I saw him a couple times at his comedy shows too, and
Hmm.
sweetheart of a guy. Just a
Yeah,
sweetheart of a guy. I always loved meeting people and met every single person that came to his shows too, which was just cool to see.
nice, man, nice.
Nice.
It's great just having those experiences because like you can't get those back. That's something you can tell your kids and your grandkids.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I've been very, very fortunate to meet, a lot of a lot of comedians who I look up to too, and wrestlers like you said too, which
Hmm.
is just fun, and rock stars too back in the day at CCC, which was got to
Right.
talk to Nikki Sixx for a little bit, which was a thrill for me because I love
That's
Motley
dope.
Crue. So
Nice.
yeah, it was, yeah, a lot of cool experiences, man.
Any great advice that you give to broadcasters young broadcasters that you meet now, just at WTIC, speaking with them,
Um,
any like powerful advice?
I guess just always say just have fun with it.
Yeah,
It's you're not gonna make any money in it. You're just not gonna make any money in it. It's just not. But you have to have a passion for it too. And if you don't
right.
have a passion for it, then do something that's gonna make you money. There's a reason why pretty much everybody in radio has, 2 or 3 jobs.
Right.
It's because, there's not a lot of money in radio anymore, unfortunately. But you
Right.
gotta have a passion for it, and it is fun.
Mhm.
Like one of my favorite things that Ernie Johnson on Inside the NBA with
Mhm. Mhm.
Shaq and Charles Barkley and Kenny. Oh, what he said in his latest acceptance speech, like hit me. He said, "I got a get to job. Like I get to do that.
Hmm.
Like and that like hit me. Like I get to like wake up in the morning and go on the radio.
Right.
It's a rare experience that I don't take for granted. It's fun, but I would say it's still a job though.
But I think it's fun part just with the 3 jobs and the 2 jobs because at the end of the day you can pick those 2 other jobs. It can be
Yeah,
other different media jobs. You are not hold back to one station unless you are like the mega star. You
right.
can hustle and get to what you want to do. And I think the best part just like technology too. I just know some heads that do stuff remotely, what me and Easy are doing right now, and
Yep.
work other just media jobs just benefiting themselves. So it doesn't have to be strictly just that radio job and flipping burgers at one joint
Right.
and doing other stuff at another. You can work your way a lot. You can make pretty much your own schedule. If it comes pretty much to independence, I really say the broadcasting route. It'll make you hungry. It really can.
That is very, very true. It is very.
Hmm.
I mean, my schedule. I go in. I get to the station at Farmington at like 4:15 in the morning,
Right.
and I'm out at noon. So I got the
Mm.
whole day. After
Right.
that, I mean, I got a toddler running around the house, which
Hmm.
basically puts me on a schedule to make sure I'm home for him.
Right.
Um, but yeah, you're right though. At the same time, like if you get hours like that, or
Hmm.
the afternoon shift is basically like 1 to 7, so
Right.
you got the whole morning to do something else or whatever. But yeah, I know a lot of guys, myself included. We DJ weddings and DJ
Right.
events and bars and everything like that too. So it's a popular gig for radio guys.
Also, what I've noticed is a really popular gig for
Hmm.
radio guys is trivia hosts,
Yes.
Yeah.
hosting trivia nights
True.
and different things like that. That's something that I'm just saying there might be an opportunity for a Preston and Easy Blues trivia night going down somewhere because that
I know
would
we
love
say
that.
money's not that much, but I better get the bag if we're doing trivia.
Oh yeah, no, exactly. No, don't be a bag. You know?
I better get a
We don't-
good
we-
bag if I'm doing trivia. If I'm
Well,
doing a
we
wedding
gotta
DJ,
earn the good bag. We gotta
it
earn
better
the
be a
good
bag. I know Matt's not going to any wedding. He got a
Right.
price. He got a set price. You better respect
Everybody's
that
got a
price.
Ted DiBiase says.
Everybody's got a price.
But I think that's the greatest part just about what we do. Just even the side gigs are just natural. They really are. You know, when it comes to weddings and just like negotiating, even some people I know who are doing this that I went to school with are different schools with, because I went to CT School of Broadcasting after this. They're doing motivational speaking because they can just interact so well with different people and just make them feel good about themselves. So we're in just a great business right now as I talk right here on WNHH-LP 103.5 FM New Haven. Matt, it's just great to see you again. Hope I see you face to face sometime because
Yeah,
it's
we
been about
definitely have to get up and get together too. I'll call Josh and get him out of the house too, and
yeah,
we'll
it's
have a nice reunion. It'll be fun.
definitely. And thank you for being part of Easy and myself's wrestling group, just like with our nonsense and with our
Oh,
posts, just like
word.
talking different stuff
I
and
love it.
interacting.
I
So
love it. I
we
love the
appreciate
content
that. We
on
really
there.
do.
I love the content on there. People should follow it because it's good content. You got some breaking news every once in a while on there too.
Yeah, man, we try our best. We try our
We
best.
try,
Good stuff.
we try our best to knock stuff out there, and we also try our best to make sure that everyone can actually voice their opinion and
Exactly.
not be like brutalized. Like anyone
Yeah.
that's gonna,
Yeah.
that's something that in the wrestling world is, like you either love this or you hate this, and we're like, but guys,
Yeah.
we can
You idiot!
have
You
like a
think
little bit
Logan
of
Paul
both.
should be champ?
Just before we go out, because we only got so much time left for the program, what is an unpopular, let's just go wrestling, let's go geek real quick because we love being geeks. What's an unpopular wrestling opinion you have that you always stick by?
Like recently, right now,
Recently, past, present, future, it's up to you. It is your choice.
I'll give you one recent. Is like you like asked that question and it popped right in my head when you said it. Dominic Mysterio is the man.
I agree.
Dominic Mysterio is the man, and that may not be people. I mean, he gets booed every single week, but what he's doing in wrestling right now is unbelievable. Him and Logan Paul, I'll say Logan Paul too, because the amount of work that guy seems to have put in and becoming a superstar, which he is insane. Like the short amount of time, people do not give him enough credit because what he has done in the short amount of time he's been in the ring has been nothing short of amazing to me. Like he seems to have just jumped right into it and it just came natural.
Well, hold on. There is a lot of stuff that came natural, but he also gets to work one-on-one with Shawn Michaels to get everything squared away for hours upon hours about one match. Like the dude is not putting in full-time work, hitting.
We got a hater here.
No, I just see things as it is. I'm not knocking what he accomplished. What he accomplished is great, but it's kind of like, when you're in the music industry and you can be a really good musician, but that dude whose family has money is going to be ahead of you, not because they're better songwriters or better musicians,
but because
they have better connections. And that's the whole thing is he's super connected and he's super well protected. When that protection goes away, let me see how good he does.
Can you say the same thing about Dominic?
Yes.
His Rey Mysterio family, the lineage,
Yeah.
We can say the same thing about Dominic, but I'm more of a Dominic fan than a Logan Paul fan, honestly, because
I love the fact that he took everywhere that he went, he made appearances with the title. Like he actually did move the needle a little bit when it comes down to like the visibility of the brand itself. And that was good. But also you have to remember that he's a giant, I'll say bad press type of person, and he starts to say some things, and so you gotta protect yourself.
We're talking about Logan, right? We're talking about Logan.
Yeah,
okay,
Logan.
We're talking about Logan. I thought we were talking about Dom for a quick second. We're talking about Logan.
No, I was talking about Logan. I love that, like you said, he did what he needed to do. He took it onto different platforms.
Mhm.
You know, he took it onto red carpets that it never had the opportunity to be on before. That makes sense.
Mhm.
But then he needs to have better handlers so that, you know, he doesn't say certain things or do certain things. You know, like, yes, he can never go to Japan and compete in Japan. Let's be real.
Yeah, that would be tricky for him to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I
I,
agree.
on Dominic though, like
Mm.
I can't remember the last time a guy was already a heel
Mhm.
and in one swift turn became more of a heel.
which is great.
With what he did at SummerSlam. It was perfect. It was absolutely perfect. As if he wasn't getting booed enough.
Right.
Like he's even more hated now. It's fantastic.
Oh, it's a great time to be a fan. It really is. But one thing I'm really disappointed about, this conversation has to be over, unfortunately. Time is wrapping up for the program. Matt, we have a little nerd side broadcast I'd love to have you be a part of. It's called Three Nerds Venting.
You could be the fourth nerd. You could be the fourth nerd. It's so fun.
Yeah, so we can talk about like random topics on pop culture, just get in, and it's like a little nerd therapy. We can just get our feelings out. We do it like once every bi-weekly. So like, you know, we'll probably call you about a month from now, hopefully to get you on, and you know,
let me know.
Speak your mind and speak your piece, because I think we'll have great debates with you. Especially with our third guy, that professor. He'll really like to talk to you.
Oh yeah.
Yes. I'm in, man. You let me know the date. I'll be there.
Definitely.
Awesome.
Matt, we appreciate you. Thank you. And we would just want to end this note, something that you're grateful for.
Something I'm grateful for. I will say my amazing family and friends, as corny as that sounds. I'm second to none. I have one of the best wives. She is just unbelievable, both with the kids and with me. And you have to be patient to be with me. And just my kids, as much as they drive me up the wall some days. Like, there's nothing like coming home and your 3-year-old jumps into your arms and gives you a hug. It'll turn you to mush every single time, but it's the best part of my day.
Right. That's awesome.
I'm a little choked up at that, but yeah. Matt, thank you so much. WNHH.
I appreciate you guys. It's good seeing you and good meeting you too, Easy. And
nice meeting you.
We'll nerd out one day.
Yeah, man. WNHH 103.5 FM New Haven. We appreciate everyone and thank you so much.
Wondering what to write about, trying to figure out what it's all about. Existentialist, am I worth anything or just discount? I don't know.